Welcome to Brain Boogerz, where we turn sticky mental stuff into practical growth. In today's quick picks, we're unpacking childhood sensitivities, those early hotspots like separation, rejection, criticism, or control that often echo into adulthood. You'll learn what childhood sensitivities are, where they come from, how they show up later in life, and simple practices to respond with clarity and compassion instead of reflex and overwhelm. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, please click subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you know someone navigating tricky work or family situations or issues with their friends or love or the past, share this episode with them. We're all in this together. Also, the content shared on this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only, to spark conversation and self-discovery. This podcast does not offer medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you're experiencing mental health issues or have questions about your well-being, please reach out to a qualified healthcare provider or mental health professional. So, what are childhood sensitivities? The working definition is that these are patterns of heightened emotional reactivity formed in early life around key needs: safety, belonging, competence, and autonomy. They're not defects, they're adaptations. Your nervous system learned to notice what mattered for survival and connection. And the four common sensitivity clusters are separation or abandonment sensitivity, esteem or criticism sensitivity, rejection or exclusion sensitivity, and control or autonomy sensitivity. Now that we know that, where do they come from? Repetition wires the response. Consistent experiences, supportive or stressful, shape your brain tags as high priority. Contributors to how our sensitivity develops are caregiving patterns, be they consistent, inconsistent, intrusive, or neglectful. Family rules such as don't feel, don't need, be perfect, and be useful. Environment: chaos versus structure or scarcity versus sufficiency. And temperament: some kids are more reactive and some are more easygoing. Here's the key reframe. The sensitivity once served you. Today, it might just need updating. Let's quickly see how the big four sensitivities show up. 1. Separation or abandonment sensitivity. Childhood cues are caregivers are frequently unavailable, unpredictable, or experiencing a high turnover of caregivers. This can express in adulthood through anxiety with goodbyes, over-texting for reassurance, staying in proximity physically or digitally, or experiencing dread when loved ones pull away. A trigger thought might be, if they go quiet, I'm not safe. Here's a micro practice to try if you notice this. For your body, do the 4-6 breathing. Inhale at a count of 4 and exhale at a count of 6. And try this for 2 minutes. For behavior, pre-agree on check-in times with partners or teams. And for your belief, reassure yourself that space does not equal danger. I can self-soothe and reconnect. 2. Esteem or criticism sensitivity. Childhood cues may be based on a high evaluation culture that includes comparison, conditional praise, and expectations for perfection. In adults, this may show up in having issues with taking feedback personally, over-prepping, procrastinating to avoid imperfection, and imposter spirals. A trigger thought may be, if I'm not excellent, I'm unworthy. Here's a micro practice. For your body, try progressive muscle relax for 60 seconds before reviewing feedback. For your behavior, ask for 1 keep doing and 1 improve item. No essays. And for belief, remind yourself, my worth isn't at stake. 3. Rejection or exclusion sensitivity. The childhood cues here are seen through peer bullying, favoritism, unstable friendships, and identity-based marginalization. In adults, this may show up through overreading silence, withdrawal after subtle slights, and saying things like, I'll leave before they do. A trigger thought might be, I don't belong here. Now, here's a micro practice. For your body, try orienting. Name 5 things you see, 4 feel, 3 hear, 2 smell, and 1 taste. For your behavior, clarify bids. Like, did you mean X? I want to check my read. And for your belief, remind yourself, belonging is co-created. I can ask, clarify, and choose my rooms. And 4, control or autonomy sensitivity. In childhood, this may show up through intrusive control, lack of choice, or unsafe chaos that forced hyper-control. In adults, this may show through bristling at micromanagement, difficulty delegating, and rigidity with plans. A trigger thought might be, if I'm not in charge, I'm not safe. Here's a micro practice. For your body, try box breathing. 4 seconds in, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, 4-second hold before decisions. For your behavior, define non-negotiables versus flex zones before meetings. And for your belief, tell yourself, boundaries plus flexibility equals real power. Now, let's look at how this all links to attachment styles and temperament. Anxious attachment often amplifies separation and rejection sensitivities. Avoidant attachment often amplifies control or autonomy sensitivity and blunts overt esteem cues. Secure attachment buffers intensity. Sensitivities still arise, but recovery is quicker. And temperament, let's look at it for flavor from Canoe. High neuroticism increases intensity. High conscientiousness increases perfection pain. High agreeableness increases conflict sensitivity, and introversion increases overstimulation sensitivity. Now, here's the update, turning sensitivity into a signal. Let's use the 3R method. 1. Recognize. Name the sensitivity in real time, like, this is rejection sensitivity talking. 2. Regulate. Take 90 seconds to calm your nervous system and allow it to reset. And 3. Reroute. Choose a skillful behavior. Clarify, set a boundary, or ask for what you need. And Ho'oponopono for repair. Tell yourself, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you for about 30 to 60 seconds, either internally or aloud. Direct it to your inner child, your present self, or the relationship. Now, here's a small 7-day microplan that you can use to help you to manage your sensitivities. Day 1, map your top sensitivity. Write 3 earliest memories tied to it. On day 2, build a boundary phrase you'll use this week. On day 3, practice 1 breathing drill twice. On day 4, ask for 1 clear reassurance or expectation upfront, either in a meeting or in your relationship. Day 5, take 1 imperfect action and log what still went fine. On day 6, clarify a perceived slight with a neutral question. And on day 7, reflect. What triggered, what helped, and what will you repeat? Sensitivities are not weaknesses. They're old alarms asking for updates. When we notice the pattern, regulate the body, and choose a clearer move, we turn reactivity into agency. This week, pick your biggest hotspot and run the 3R method. Your past taught you to survive. Your present can teach you to thrive. Thanks for joining me for this quick pick on childhood sensitivities. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who might need a little hope on their journey or just a good conversation. Until next time, keep moving forward, one step, one insight, one day at a time. Join me next time where we'll pick and dig in on brain boogers.